That's why this is exciting. It's because it's a decentralization. It's people taking control and not waiting for the government to come and rescue them. Okay, so I have a story I want to share with you from Bloomberg, and it kind of breaks, I'm all about breaking narratives. This is kind of breaking one of my narratives, and I'm going to talk about that a little later. I want to first get into the story here, and yes, I wear glasses, so. It is called Venezuelans Break Off Flakes of Gold to Pay for Meals and Haircuts. This is by Alex Vasquez and Ezra Pfizer. And this is from Bloomberg.com. Hyperinflation has stripped the local currency of its value. Dollars, pesos, reals, and euros are also common alternatives. To fathom the magnitude of Venezuela's financial collapse, travel southeast from Caracas, past the oil fields and over the Orinoco River, and head deep into the savanna that blankets one of the remotest corners of the country. There, in the barbershops and restaurants and hotels that constitute the main strip of one dusty little outpost after another, you'll find prices displayed in grams of gold. A one-night stay at a hotel, that'll be half a gram. Lunch for two at a Chinese restaurant, a quarter of a gram. A haircut, an eighth of a gram, please. George Pena, 20, figured that eighth came to 3 small flakes, the equivalent of $5. After getting a trim one recent weekday in the town of Tumarimo, he handed over to his barber, who, satisfied with Pena's calculation, quickly pocketed them. You can pay for everything with gold, Pena says. In the high-tech global economy of the 21st century, where tap-and-go transactions are the rage, this is about as low-tech as it gets. Most of the world moved on from gold as a medium of exchange over a century ago. Its resurfacing in Venezuela today is the most extreme manifestation of the repudiation of the local currency, the bolivar, that has swept the country. After 3 years of meddling in the economy by Nicolas Maduro's socialist regime, the bolivar has been rendered almost worthless by hyperinflation. Maduro just lopped another 6 zeros off this month. In its place, the dollar has become the de facto choice in Caracas and other major cities. Along the western border with Colombia, the peso is the dominant currency. It's used in more than 90% of transactions in the biggest city in the region, San Cristobal, according to research firm Ecoanalytica. Let me try that again. Ecoanalytica. I used to speak Spanish pretty fluently, guys, believe it or not. Down on the southern border with Brazil, the real is often the currency of choice. And the euro and cryptocurrencies have their niches in parts of the country too. People simply stopped trusting the bolivar, says economist Luis Vicente Leon, president of Caracas-based research Data Analysis. It no longer fulfilled its function as a store of wealth or as a means of account or a medium of exchange. Only the poorest Venezuelans, those who lack access to dollars or other currencies, still use bolivars. People prefer any currency over the bolivar, Leon says. In the parts of Venezuela, southeastern Venezuela, that currency is gold. The land there, a stunning world of tabletop mountains and giant waterfalls that cascade into lush valleys, is loaded with precious metal. The temptation of overnight wealth has lured generations of wannabe miners, searing the names of the region's towns El Callao and Guacipati into Venezuelan folklore. The area is a violent, lawless place today, overrun by gangs and guerrillas. Shootouts with Maduro's soldiers, who control many of the bigger mines, are common. And yet Venezuelans still come from all over, driven by a dearth of steady work after the decade-long economic depression. The small-time operators of illegal mines typically pay laborers in nuggets, so there's plenty of bullion to be had. The steady supply, coupled with internet reception that's so shoddy that digital transactions are nearly impossible, make gold the least bad option for locals. That's a hell of a way to spin it, isn't it? Gold makes gold, which has historically always been money. Gold is the least bad option. Compared to what? That's so silly to me. What a horrible turn of phrase. Gold should be the best option everywhere because it's always been money historically. It always will be. It fulfills all the principles of money / currency, money, right? A store of wealth, a means of exchange, etc. Divisible, fungible. But that is modern monetary theory financial spin put on this article. Anyhow, they use hand tools to break shards off nuggets and then carry them in their pockets, often wrapped in Bolivar bills. So the Bolivar has been rendered to being a wallet. One of the few remaining uses for currency. Stores have small scales, but some shopkeepers and consumers feel so comfortable handling the metal at this point that they evaluate the flakes by sight. And listen, if you've been to a coin shop where you have experienced people who are really experienced in handling numismatics and silver and gold, I've spoken to one guy at a local coin shop here. He can spot a fake piece of gold bullion from 10 feet away. And I believe him. To the uninitiated outsider, this sounds wild. How can authenticity and weight possibly be determined with a mere glance from someone untrained in the ways of mineralogy? Gold experts, though, back what the local says. You just get a feel for it over time. Is that not true? I have far less experience with gold than with silver. But I can say that in the year that I've been stacking gold, I definitely have more of a feel for it. Gold is an element, explains Juan Carlos Artigas, head researcher of the World Gold Council in New York. Unlike diamonds, which are hard to evaluate, gold has intrinsic characteristics, and there are specific things you can look for, especially in small pieces. The use of gold is slowly expanding into nearby cities, including Ciudad Bolivar, the state capital nestled among the banks of the Orinoco. Miners regularly travel there to sell their bullion when they want to cash out, and stores and shopping malls exchange it for dollars. Here's an interesting little chart of the price of a cup of coffee in Bolivars. Went up 1,737% in the past 12 months. Coming to America, folks. Got your gold? But back in mining towns like Tumaremo, there's little need to carry anything other than gold. The owner of a small hotel in town, he'd only give his first name, Omar, out of concern for his safety, says he pays his staff with gold using the flakes he is handed by customers. He charges half a gram a night for a room. 31.105 grams in a troy ounce. So 1 gram is 1/31st, and he's half of that. Do the math on that, folks. I'll maybe do the math on that, and we'll figure that out together. But let me see. Let's see. At $1,800 an ounce, a 10th ounce is about $180. That's about 3 divided by 3. About $60. About $30, right? That's about $30 for a half a gram, roughly. About 2/3 of his customers pay with gold, Omar estimates. He'll only take dollars and other foreign currencies from those who don't have gold on them. But what about bolivars? By law, he can't say no. So he takes them reluctantly, he says, and he unloads them fast. So Interesting. Very, very interesting. So here's what I would say about this. Is that people talk about gold and silver for SHTF situations to be used as barter, right? But what is barter? Barter is trade between two citizens, not so much between a citizen and a merchant. So gold has literally become the currency of choice for the exchange of goods. So I guess you can, in a sense, call that barter, but that's not how I imagine barter. I imagine barter being me taking my chicken to a neighbor and trading it for milk, right? That's kind of traditionally how barter is viewed. So when we talk about an SHTF scenario, and that's what we have here in Venezuela, a 10-year depression with hyperinflation, where the bolivar is rendered worthless. You know, we talk about Gresham's Law. Gresham's Law is when bad currency forces out good currency, right? That's what coin roll hunting is, right? We're going through rolls of quarters and dimes and half dollars trying to find the silver to hoard it and keep that in favor of the bad money. That's Gresham's Law. On the other end of that is Thayer's Law, where good money among honest people, not manipulated by central governing forces, where good money forces out bad. And that's a beautiful thing. That's what we have happening here in Venezuela. And it's exciting. This should be exciting for us as gold and silver stackers. So, and remember, guys, I am guessing, I've said this in videos before, silver is fractional gold. An ounce of silver is 1/73rd of an ounce of gold. So if you have silver, you have fractional gold. I'm betting that if someone had silver in any form, junk silver, bullion, a bar, whatever, that the hotel owner, the haircut guy, the barber, that they would be more than happy to take that in exchange for their service. So this article makes a great case for what we've always said, is that gold and silver are real money and always have been. It's real currency. And you see there are pictures here in this article, and I hope you guys like this side-by-side thing. I'm doing it so I can kind of show everything here, but there was a picture, I thought, of store shelves with things priced in gold. There it is, right there. There it is. So that's a price tag, guys. Again, I reject that this is barter. I don't believe that this is barter. And in fact, I don't think silver and gold are ever going to be used for barter in an SHTF scenario. I do believe this can happen, because it is happening, right? But in terms of barter in an SHTF scenario, maybe. I don't want to ever say never. In the last year and a half, almost 2 years now, one thing we can never really say is, well, that'll never happen, because just look what's happened in the last year and a half. So anyhow, interesting article. I really love to get your thoughts in the comments. And look, the reason, I could go on a whole tangent here, but the government can't manipulate this stuff. You can't counterfeit gold, which is what the printing of currency is. Quantitative easing is counterfeiting. And the reason counterfeiting is so bad, and it's an act of war if it's done by a foreign adversary, is because it devalues everybody else's money. It brings down the buying power of everybody else's money. So why do we allow the Federal Reserve to counterfeit? We know since 1913, our dollar is devalued by 98%, and it's going less. I don't know if you're looking around these days. I don't know if you've been to a gas pump recently. But that's why this is exciting. It's because it's a decentralization. It's people taking control and not waiting for the government to come and rescue them. And there's obvious inherent risks, right? They're doing battle for this stuff. Wars have been fought for gold for generations, for centuries, for millennia. So that shouldn't be necessarily a surprise. And I'm not advocating for it. I'm not saying it's right. I'm a pacifist. I will never fight anybody for any amount of gold, ever. All right? Jesus said, if someone smites you on your right cheek, offer your left also, right? If someone takes your coat, offer your tunic also. Offer your shirt. Give people the shirt off your back. That's the kind of generosity that I want to have. But anyhow, I'm ranting. I'd love to see your comments below. I'd love to interact with you on this. Help me get 20 likes on this video, guys. I don't know if I have 20 likes on a single video on my channel. I'll tell you what, let's shoot low. Let's go for 10. Help me get 10 likes. That would be awesome. Maybe we'll do a giveaway soon. I'd like to do that. I got some stuff I'd love to share with the community here. So give me 10 likes, y'all, and we'll do a giveaway. See you on the next one.